Hello, welcome to MSW 634 Supervision Boot Training Presentation, where you are going to learn about supervision within the next 10 minutes from Regina Shelton
and Naomi Molka. We are going to take you through the who, what, where, when, why, and how supervision occurs.
Who is the supervisor? The supervisor is the leader. There are numerous definitions of supervision. For the purpose of the supervision standard, professional supervision is defined as the relationship between supervisor and supervisee in which the responsibility and accountability for the development of competence, demeanor, and ethical practice takes place. The supervisor is responsible for providing direction to the supervisee, who applies social work theory, standard knowledge, skills, competency, and applicable ethical content in the practice setting. And by doing this, they foster trust, builds people rather than tears them down. It's supportive, it's consistent, it's caring, uses time wisely, is persistent to their goals, is willing to compromise, allows as much freedom as possible, and is creative. To be a good leader, you must be helpful in all sense. You must be able to help any and everyone who looks to you for supervision. Also, you must be disciplined, and being disciplined means you need to stand by the rules, regulations of your organization, as well as the code of ethics within social work. You should also always be able to give orders, and you may have people jumping through hoops, but you should never ask anyone to do something that you wouldn't do. Also, being willing to teach. You teach what you know and your knowledge, and also be willing to learn. Learn outside of your competence area, as well as learn from your clients and other supervisees. Who requires supervision? Well, the responsibility of sustaining worker morale, helping the worker with job-related discouragements and discontents, giving workers a sense of worth as professionals, belonging to the agency, security in their performance. So when it comes to supervision, what has been your experience with a supervisor? Who requires supervision? Well, we all know that all of us require supervision. It's a great way for accountability. The Association of Social Work Board states that supervision plays a key role in the professional development of their supervisees. The action and advice of the supervisor are keenly observed by supervisees and consequently influence much of the supervisee's thinking and behavior. Teaching is an important function of the supervisee who models the behavior of the supervisee will emulate. And that's just like the mirror effect. When you look in a mirror, like when you look at your supervisees, you want them to be a great reflection of yourself. The National Association of Social Work and the ASWB have developed best practice standards in social work supervision to support and strengthen supervision for professional social workers. Where is the supervision, and is it really required? I know we all think because we all are professionals and we've been in the field, at least for the last 2 years, that sometimes we think we don't need supervision, but we all require some type of supervision. Supervisors are getting squeezed in their roles in agencies and having increased challenges. So have you ever felt like this picture? This book presentation will better prepare you to have positive experiences with supervisory relationships. Where is supervision? Where are you at with supervision? Because we all know as social workers, we are change agents and we're good leaders. So do you think you start from the bottom and work your way up to the top? Or do we start from the top and work our way to the bottom? Sometimes that makes us more humble. There is increasingly concern about the quality of supervision provided to social workers on the macro, meso, and meta levels. More and more. According to Finn and Jacobson, supervision is a practice of mutual aid. Research indicates that the principles and dynamics of mutual aid create a sound basis for realizing workers' potential. Supervision requires advancing training as it encompasses a teaching element. Being proficient with a social work skill does not indicate that a person knows how to teach that skill. Many studies have conducted to identify the knowledge and skills necessary for effective supervision. This workshop will provide you with the information and allow you the opportunity to practice these skills. What is a role as a supervisor? Social work supervisors play an important role in the professional development of subordinates. Just like the pictures in this slide, we see some of the few things that we do as supervisors. Teach the knowledge, values, and skills. Your supervisees should be able to apply these skills to their knowledge of social work. Resolve conflict, translate the policies, select the task to be completed, assign who will complete the task, determine deadlines, evaluate employee and or clients. Teach how to practice social work. The challenge of supervision is to teach how to practice social work and how to do a particular job or task. Lead by an example. In Finn and Jacobson, the 10 practice of mutual aid challenge false dichotomy that separates supervision from practice. Envisions the workplace as an environment in which to realize workers' potential. Reframes supervisors as change agents working on behalf of staff to promote just practice. Counter agencies hierarchy creates a form of supervisory practice that is consistent with social work values. Realize the values of advocacy, empowerment, and self-determination in the workplace. Reframes the work unit as a mutual aid group with common interests and common tasks. Provide a framework for teamwork, participating, decisions making, and group problem solving. Harnesses the creative energy of the group members. Provides the base for creating organizational change. And as you see in the pictures, how when you work together, because like I said, we all are leaders, even though some of us will have the lead role, and we can all put our puzzle together in order to make a change. What not to do. Being a supervisor, there's plenty of things that we should not do. I'm just going to name a few. Threaten or harm or punishment. We need not to violate the NASW Code of Ethics. We need to, not ignore information that might bring to you regarding new research. Pretend like you know everything, because we never know enough. Pretend like you don't know anything. Ignore any communication from the field, any of our field coordinators or our liaisons.
Okay, so now that we have sort of a more clear picture of who supervisors are, let's think about when supervision happens. And supervision is used in the field of social work for a variety of reasons, with a goal to protect clients, support practitioners, and ensure that professional standards and quality of services are delivered by competent social workers. So some of the reasons that people might obtain supervision are they are trying to get a advanced practice license. So, for instance, when you're trying to get your LCSW, you're required to work under a supervisor during for a certain amount of hours. Supervision is provided to new or recent graduates. Supervision can also be provided to social workers who are learning a new practice area or skill. And as we all know, supervision occurs during our practicums. So supervision happens for a number of reasons, and the NASW and ASWB Task Force on Supervision Standards maintain supervision is an essential and integral part of the training and continuing education that is required for the skillful development of professional social workers. So supervision allows the supervisee to reflect on their experiences they've had with clients and sort of debrief on their past experiences. Supervision also allows us to gain knowledge through practice, discussion, and feedback on performance. It also helps develop self-awareness. Supervision allows one to identify areas of weakness or challenges and prepare for future work. Supervision helps to ensure the safety of both the client and the practitioner, and supervision offers support and promotes self-care and overall well-being. Supervision is necessary for safe, sustainable, and ethical practice and is an integral part of the employer's duty of care through the following: striving to create positive changes in difficult individual and family situations, issues relating to safety and duty to warn others, protection of children and vulnerable adults, assessment and management of risk and uncertainty, and improvement of professional judgment in conditions of chronic conflict and stress. And so those are all the reasons why supervision occurs. So how does supervision happen? Supervision is comprised of three aspects that often intertwine in practice, and these are administrative supervision, educational supervision, and supportive supervision. So administrative supervision is a method that takes more of a managerial approach and helps orient social workers to agency policies. The focus is on the supervisee's functionality on the job. And so this happens through work planning, work delegation, monitoring, evaluation, communication, advocacy, administrative buffers, and change agents. Educational supervision focuses on professional concerns and the specificity of individual cases. This allows a social worker to be more self-aware and refine their skill set. The supervisee will learn about assessment process, treatment and intervention, identification and resolution of ethical issues, and evaluation and termination of services. And last, the supportive supervision is, according to the NASW, this provides the management of work-related stress and assistance to staff in coping with work-related issues. So during supportive supervision, the supervisor will create a nurturing and open space to encourage self-efficacy and growth of the social worker. And this happens through reassurance, encouragement, recognition of achievement, constructive criticism, realistic appraisals, ventilation, universalization, desensitizing, and attentive listening. So some of the qualifications to become a supervisor are having a current license to practice. You must have a degree from an accredited school of social work. You must have specified casework in supervision with a minimum number of continuing education hours in supervisory practice. You must have a minimum of 3 years of post-licensure practice experience, continuing education hours as required for maintenance of supervisory credentials. You must be free from sanction of the licensing board for violation of practice standards. And you must have experience or expertise in the practice area and with the population of the supervisee's practice field. So that means that you would have expertise in geriatrics if that's the field that the person you're supervising is in, or children and families, or mental health.
How you interact with your supervisee employees matters. According to Finn and Jacobson, that supervisee style and characteristic of supervision have a significant impact on clients' overall evaluation of the supervisor. Now, we're going to ask you a couple questions and give us your answers. How often should supervision be given? What do you think, Naomi?
I think supervision should happen probably once a week, but I also think that it should happen as it's needed as well. So if you met with your supervisor on Monday and on Wednesday something happened, I think you should be able to go and meet with them, right away and sort of work through any sort of problem or issue that might occur.
I agree. Is it reasonable to expect that supervisees might need supervision outside of their regulatory scheduled time?
Well, it sounds like we might have just answered that question.
Yes.
So let me talk about this. I would say that, again, I sort of think it's hard to pick just one, because I really think it's important that, I think it's very important that the supervisor provides feedback, as well as I think it's very important that the supervisor is available. And I guess, I mean, obviously we want our supervisor to be empathetic as well. I mean, that's a big part of the whole process. But again, I sort of think they're all really important. What do you think, Regina?
I agree. I think all three equally should be a part of that.
Well,
thank you, Naomi.
Thanks, Regina. Thank you all
for attending. Have a great day.